This is a meeting of the Consolidated Commission on Utilities. It's a work session for Guam Power Authority. Oh, okay. It's a work session for the Guam Power Authority. And for the record, those present are myself in the room and Commissioner Santos. And online is Commissioner Sanchez and Commissioner Mchalco, I believe. Right? Okay. So, John, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. 5 items, 5 resolutions for the CCU's consideration this morning at next week's meeting. And then thereafter, I do have a GM report. I just wanted to go through a few highlights from that.
Sure.
So starting with the first item is the 41 mega reserve facility, the Gpa resolution FY 2023. That's 07, and that's for the cancellation of the Cabers 41 megawatt reserve facility under the KEPCO contract.
Okay.
If you recall, Mr. Chair, we had to get legislation to utilize the location down at PD. We had noted throughout that request that March 31st was a hard deadline in terms of pricing. Unfortunately, we didn't get the legislation approved, passed until April 11, and then of course signed into law by the governor on June 15. And therefore, after discussions with what the prices are, and of course that was to be expected because of all the huge escalating costs in the U.S. and everywhere, and including the potential Ukraine war and all of this happening. The price that was given to us was the original budget was 58 million to do that project. The price that was offered to us was 98 million. So that's like almost twice what it was. After reviewing the economics and the additional costs and all of that, we said at this point, no matter what we do, ask them to rebid or do all of that, it wasn't going to make that difference in that pricing. So therefore, we agreed to go ahead and cancel it all of the contract. There is an adjustment in the capacity fees and all of that going down. Okay. In addition to that, we won't be now paying the $2 million a year for Cap 2 fee for the 41 megawatt, and we won't be paying any variable fees. So, I believe and I recommend it is in our best interest to cancel that project and just we can readdress it later. GPA bids it if necessary. The property has already been rezoned to allow for that. And secondly, we're really looking furthermore into the rehabilitation of 0 hours for more the Jigo diesels down the road that we can transfer to various areas. And in addition to that, of course, MEC 8 and 9 will still be around. No? So we have other opportunities to make this happen. Unfortunately, the price was right, but for us, the timing to get the approvals was wrong or late, and therefore this is why we're in this position.
Commissioner Santos, go ahead.
The 41 megawatt was really to be part of the 198 to bring us into the future. Similarly, where it's larger than our smallest machine, but they're able to come on the line quickly. So they would have worked well with renewables. It would have been down in the storage tank area, so it didn't cost us much for transportation or fuel. It provided other benefits. No? However, and the price was right because it was still part of the contract. We were able to have GUP move it down to PD without any additional costs. Again, subject to that red line of March 31st. So unfortunately, when that didn't happen, I didn't have any more leverage to try and negotiate anything more. And so therefore, all I can say is that we'll just look at the other opportunities that are ahead. But it won't hurt. It would have allowed us also to retire some other units, no? And now we'll just see what we have and then reevaluate. It won't, we'll still get our reliability there, and we'll try and figure out to minimize costs in the future. So, and the lenders are asking for this. They're asking that the CCU and the PUC approve it so that they are clear in their lending. Although my recommendation to them already has been that we'll be canceling.
John, just this was because of in case these units were needed only when they were going to go down for maintenance, right?
Every 4 years, you're
yeah.
correct.
So we do have, besides 8 and 9, you have other units.
Yeah.
Dededo 1 and 2, Matete, the old Jigo unit that you can then work with.
Right.
And I know you have some Greco units still left.
Right. And Jigo might be the plan with Jigo units because there's 39 of them.
Yeah.
Our initial plans, at least so far today, is that to take about 6 of those and put it down in Talapopo to establish a grid in the southern microgrid for the southern part of the island, so that if there's a typhoon or storm, we can restore the south just as fast as the north. Because normally the south ends up waiting until we fix the transmissions to the south. So by doing that, we're able to start up there and Talapopo and feed the community as we're restoring the power. No? The other portions of it we could relocate somewhere else, and one relocation could be down into the GD area, Cabras area.
Sure.
There are about 10 or more that they're already up to 24,000 hours, so we're gonna have to get them overhauled for like maybe $250,000 or something, but it's still worth it.
Do you send those off island to be overhauled?
We're still looking into that. What we want to do is make sure that it's truly
economical. It's
economic and it's truly refurbished, so that when we it's one of those where the DSCC just press the button, it comes on the line, sync right into the system, and we're good. So it's helping us today. That's our fast start today. No?
Okay.
That's the first item.
Hold on a second. Are there any questions from Commissioner Sanchez or Commissioner Limchaco? No? Okay, go ahead, John.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The second resolution is 2023-08, and this is relative to requesting your approval for revision on our line extension policy. Again, what it takes today is that for someone to put power to their house, especially in their remote location, what it requires is that we look at our cost, and then we look at their 30-month estimated revenue. And if the 30-month estimated revenue is higher than their cost, then it doesn't cost them anything for us to put the pole and line into place. However, anything beyond that, they have to pay before we do. So the difference is that it used to cost less than $1,000 for a wooden pole. Now it costs us close to $5,000 for a concrete pole. No? So therefore, and that's just the per. And again, they go by per pole line extension, right? So again, it really makes it difficult for customers to hook up. So the plan here is really if the customer, for example, has like 2 pole lines, 10,000 minus the 3,000 credit, right? If they're an average customer of say 1,000 kilowatt hours a month. So that's like $7,000 that they plan to put out, right? Just for a 1 or 2 pole extension, just to get it to their house. That's a 2 pole extension is like every 150 feet. That's 300 feet. So that being the case, unless they're building a new house and they can try and finance that, it's hard for them to do that. So right now whenever another customer, if they put in that construction and another customer in that within that 300 feet puts their lie in, then they are reimbursed this contribution up to an additional $3,000, no? Or the other customer has to contribute also, right? But that has to happen within a 5-year period. So, you see cases, and I hear cases where people wait until after 5 years, and then, okay, they can, without any additional cost. So what we're asking here is really to increase that from a 5-year period to a 15-year period. Allow people more time so that within a 15-year period, if others hooked up, they'll be, if they have to pay it in, or for residentials, we sometimes are able to do some kind of a monthly plan with them, right? Within that 5-year period. So they will continue to pay, but however, that opportunity to get reimbursed is now extended up to 15 years. And of course, the life of the equipment, concrete poles, that we know lasts a lot longer than that. So by doing that, there is also a benefit for us at GPA in that it provides an opportunity, for more growth. Because you get an example, you get a place where all the lots are subdivided to families or whatever, but no one really has put in that first subdivision, the infrastructure. But there's the opportunity. They'll help us with their base rate and everything. So it allows, first help the customer. Second, allows CPA opportunity for more base rate growth. So when we look at this, we do, I believe, have to, because it's in the door, it looks like we do have to go and ask for a request, correct me if I'm wrong, Graham, to legislation to allow us to do this.
You do it under AAA? Under the AAA process. AAA process.
What's your proposed implementation date?
When are you trying to get this
And
done?
are we? That's my first question. Next question is that the current customers in the 5-year plan are going to be granted the extension, or are those already in place and we're not altering those agreements?
Yeah.
What are we proposing to do?
The proposal really is moving forward now. If there's an opportunity, I'm open to that, to address the.
I'm open too. I'm just
curious. The only difficulty now
how many
is that.
customers do we have currently that are on a line extension?
Yeah, that goes back. How far back do we go and all of that? So, really think maybe moving forward might be the best scenario here. But again, so yeah, we will begin the process.
Get the data. I mean,
Yeah.
John, my question is, you have to develop the policy yet. It hasn't been fully developed yet.
It's really kind of straightforward. Yeah, we'll be.
No, but
we
my
just
point
make-
is to address, some of the questions that
Yeah, I
Mr.
mean-
Santos had.
are we grandfathering?
All I'm saying is-
someone that just started something, they say, hey, now I got 15 years to do this, as opposed to 5 years. That's a big difference, right? If you do the math.
Well, no. All it is that if any additional customers come in
I understand.
within the time period, then they would get a credit. Whereas
Okay.
now, once the 5-year period is elapsed, they don't get any.
But how far back do we go?
Yeah,
It's a question.
I mean, moving forward
So
is
I think it's moving forward is
I
what,
guess the issue
what I
that you need
propose.
to entertain is, how many customers do you have right now that are?
Graham, I think the
Yeah.
sensitivity is the fact that you may have somebody who signed up a year ago, and he's on a 5-year plan. He's got 4 more years to go.
Yeah.
If you institute this policy
Can get
change,
15.
he should be able to get another 14 years or whatever.
Yeah, why not, right?
On the thing. So,
We'll
Graham,
just-
you need to do this, a little
And is
more
it-
work on this, just to address some of these issues.
We'll try and get that information
Yeah.
to you for Tuesday's meeting.
Yeah.
It's not
I'll
that
get it back to you,
I don't
Mr.
foresee it.
Yeah.
Any other questions on this?
No, that's
No,
it for me.
that's it.
Okay. So again, the intention is to allow for more growth and also help those customers, no? Because as we all know, the cost of building a home today is substantial. You add to it the line extensions, no?
Yeah.
All the-
You know, the thing about it is, I think this is a good thing. We all want to do this, but the biggest cost really in terms of infrastructure is the water and the sewer line. And that's the thing that usually stops people. So, because even if you put power lines in and there's no water line in the area, you're there's a whole bunch of people down at Marble, by the way, who don't have power, don't have water, don't have sewer, forget, but they don't even have water. Some of them now are putting in water, but it's very,
Yeah, and that
good.
issue,
So-
we are working to try and put in
No,
the,
you're doing good in Marble, John.
yeah.
The people down there are very happy, but I'm just saying in the future, as you
Yeah.
go do these things, it's really those places that have at least some water.
Yep.
Then they'll like to get the power in. Okay,
Okay.
that's good. Next.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The next item is actually it's relative resolution 2023-09, and this is relative to authorizing the extension of PD 809 contract. The PD 809 contract, of course, is an IPP that had ended in 2019 and was extended to 2024. The issue here is that again, PD 809, if I can go through the presentation here, yeah, and this is the request for an extension of PD 809 up to for another 5 years from 2024 to 2029. And again, the issue here is PD 809, as I will show you, are the most efficient units in the system, and they're the most reliable. And of course, if anything happens to them, then we're really in some major issues, no? So as we
You
look
mean
at
right now, right
right
now,
now until
you need them.
two things happen, no? And the first one, of course, as I mentioned, is the new Ukudu power plant coming on the line, and the second one is the phase 4 that we have out on bid, which is actually for about 180 megawatts with full shifting batteries. The question, even after that, once we get it on the line, is usually you like a year or two to determine how firm the batteries are. How much can you count on it, no? For the whole day, can you count for 90 or 180 or 90, no? And therefore, from there now you got confidence that okay, I can retire other units, no? So that's the layout that I've given here. My apologies, this one is not moving. Oh, there we go. So here we are today, 349 firm, up into the 198 is on the line. As you can see, using 55% of the peak demand, which is really the 1 day in 4 years criteria of the PUC, which is a little more than the two largest units to ensure reliability. You look at here, so as you can see, we do have our challenges. I believe we can, we're doing our best and we'll meet that. However, under normal reliability, this is really what you really need to make this positive. And then here's the 2 years period. I'm saying with phase 4 coming in, 90-90. Then it would allow us to take the 180, see what is firm, assuming it is 90 today, and then add that to your firm capacity to allow you to retire more units in the future. Next. In terms of costs every year, this is the major component of the IPP cost. First is fuel handling. Fuel handling really, when you run the machines, just like you provide fuel, there's also lubrication. That is a variable cost that it varies depending on the amount of your production, no? Then these are the ones that does the fixed O&M and the variable O&M to keep the power plant running, operated, maintained. The total O&M budget since 2019 cost has been, and again, this is because February to September 7, around $11 million a year. No? And in addition to that, in the 2018, we know because after 20 years, PD 8 and 9 needed to be recapitalized, meaning we had to change liners, different things if we were going to have it last another 10 to 20 years, no? So this, although we, I think, budgeted around 20 million for CIP, we did spend over the past about 9 million of that, no? So again, this is the cost, and we don't see this cost going any higher than what it is today. The good news is here in this, right now in 2023, we did make an investment into the lubrication system of the PD 8 and 9, which now reduces this consumption of oil, which will help again keep the cost around that same vicinity. In addition, when PD 8 and 9 was just converted to ultra low sulfur diesel in July through September, we use now emulsifiers as part of that as additional cost. However, that's also being adjusted in uses today, and that's a variable cost that will go in similarly to the fuel handling charge. So again, this gives you an idea. This is not going to change significantly, if anything at all. We're working on that before Tuesday's meeting. Next. Here's an idea of the efficiency. No, at today's current prices of fuel oil, PD 8 and 9 is generating energy at 18 cents a kilowatt hours for fuel only. Cabras 1 and 2, almost 32 cents a kilowatt hour, because it's burning that very expensive fuel and it's not as efficient as Cabras. If we take the averages of all the other standby generators that we have for non-base load, they're generating power about 28 cents kilowatt hours. So therefore, as you can see, there's a big substantial difference between the two, which means if this unit is not running, it's going to cost our ratepayers more fuel costs. Next. So again, this reliability is crucial over the next 5 years, most especially over the next 3, as the Ukudu comes on the line. And usually, after you put the unit on the line, the first year you have adjustments as necessary on the machine. And then thereafter, the IPP, the phase 4 comes in. It would now allow us to again determine what generators to retire. Of course, we'll make that projection before, but at least we can't really do it now until we get Ukudu close to completion. No, so again, we do have limited capacity. We really can't do much about. PD has to continue running at its high reliability and all of that, which is doing, and even with the conversion stuff. The good news is doing all this now, we're still in compliance with US EPA now in our air standards. No, we've had to we're burning the higher fuel, unfortunately, but again, we had to do that to comply until we can get Ukudu on the line. And that's when relief in energy costs will come. No, next. Again, the 8 and 9 are not our employees. They've always been MEC employees since day one in 1999. So they have all the experience and the institutional knowledge, so that is similar to Cabras 3 and 4. But as you can see, their operations are complex, and we had problems with 3 and 4, of course. And they have been successfully operating it now for close to 4 years. So if you take even what they're producing, 600,000 kilowatt hours based on the sales, you're looking your impact on fuel costs is 55 to 80 million. The MEC are asking consideration to unknowing whether their contract will be renewed, mainly because they are losing employees, no? Because again, employees are knowing, okay, their contract is only until
John,
January 2024. So they're also losing employees to DG21 and other military, just similar to what we're doing. So they're actually hiring some other contract labor to keep the plan running. But you know, certainty will help them in doing that, no? So again, my recommendation is we extend it another 5 years. After that, we really will be looking
Okay.
at students. So
I think the question that needs to be asked is this contract, did it have an extension clause in it?
It did not.
Okay.
Same as we did before, but it did have a provision. And it didn't have, in other words, what we write into ours now is an option for.
So we don't have any
We
option.
have a 25-year contract with a 5-year option, make the maximum.
Right.
So in this particular case, first started, so they had a 20-year term, but they did have one provision in there that said, on the mutual agreement of the parties, long for, but,
And you're still in compliance with procurement law?
right, so what?
You are in compliance with procurement law.
Yes,
That's what you're
so
stating.
What happened last time was we extended it 5 years from, so you can do this for the 5 years, reach the maximum. We'll have to go out.
Why do you say that there's a maximum of 30 years? Where did that come from?
Because that's a provision that was 10 or 15 years ago that says VA may not
I understand.
No, that's specifically
That's a law.
IPP.
a law that was
Okay.
passed.
Now, the
So
problem,
because at the time there was uncertainty, and it has to be for long-term power plant service or anything.
okay, the question is, are you sure that that extension that you did from 2019 to 2024 complies with the procurement law? That's the concern we have, okay, Graham? Because if it does, then, and you can do that again, so that it says nothing can exceed 30 years. That doesn't give you the right to extend it. It just says that if you get in a contract, you can't do a contract for more than 30 years. Where the contract is one 30-year period, a 20-year period with another 10-year extension period, and then there's no more extensions after that. I get that. So the thing you have to give some thought to before Tuesday's meeting is answer the question, okay? You don't have to answer it right now. You have to give it some thought, but you have to come up with an answer, and you know.
And again, you need also to go to the PUC for their approval also.
No, I
And,
understand that, John.
And
I
even
just want to
then,
make sure
AAOJ did review the
the last extension.
last exemption and
Yes.
did clarify the authority of CPA.
Yeah.
Can you just pull that out and just, notwithstanding that we want to be clear that we're not violating the procurement.
Okay.
Everybody's eyes on this. Give us some comfort.
Okay.
We have time to bid this if we have to bid this? No?
No, the answer is yes. You have
We've got 1 year to the end of.
2024, right?
Remember, you have 40 employees that you're gonna have to hire to run the power plant.
No, John, we
So,
get.
no, I mean, you can always bid. I'm just saying, the risk of going through all that process and everything, and I know that, even as we look at the Zigo diesel procurement, which we went out for a PMC, and the first thing we did was have some protests and stuff with that issue, right? So even Zigo now, we're going out to get that done, but again, just like Cabra steam power plant right now, to try and bid out that facility, and then try to bring in operators that can operate the plant is is very very challenging, and in fact, so that's all. So
No,
that's why it's
I understand,
important that because it's an IPP, it's not like a previous PMC where they typically we will have our employees. So that's the challenge. So,
John, the operational side, I get what your point is. The problem is we want to make sure we're following the law. Because even if we don't do that and something happens and the law says you can't do it, you're still out those 40 employees. I mean, the reality is you got to have both the law and your operational side. You can't just say.
and again,
okay.
we think
No,
we're within.
we're giving him time till Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll look at
Okay.
it. I think we're within that. It's just again, it's very important to understand. It's
No.
critical.
It's
for
critical
our-
to your operation. We get that. That part we get.
Yeah.
But we have to comply with the law.
Yep.
So, I'm asking our legal counsel, yes, time until Tuesday to come up with, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
Next,
you.
John.
Okay, Mr. Chair, the next item is Resolution 2023-10, and that's to request the the CCU to approve for our going to the PUC to approve a powerful attachment rate. This is something we haven't taught in years, no?
Yeah.
And John, you want to just go ahead and brief on this?
Yes. Back in 2011, the GTA petitioned the PUC to adjust the poll rate. At that time, GP was charging $3 per annum per poll, and at that time, for telecom companies, they were charging them $10 per poll.
We were charging?
Yes.
Okay.
So what GTA did was the GTA petitioned to the PUC, say, hey, you have to bring parity between the telecom and the cables. And what they agreed upon was $6. So in 2011, at that time, the FCC was still working on the rate, and they finalized it. And what they did is under CFR 224, they made it closer to the cable rates. So what we're asking for is to do the formula on the cable rate, which is under CFR 47-224, and
Go back to the other one, yeah.
so if we did so we asked our consultant to do the formulas. So if we do telecom formula, it's about $17 per pole attachment per pole per annum. And if you do cable formula, it's about $14.82. We're asking for is about 15, but we're asking for phasing for 3 years, like $3 per pole attachment. So
Okay, right now,
starting
when they approve,
when they approve it. Yes.
when PUC
Good.
approves the rate. But, John, my question is, what are they paying right now?
$6 per pole per annum.
Who's paying?
Yes.
Everybody?
Yeah, everybody.
Whether it's telecom or cable?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. At that time in 2011, that's what they agreed upon.
Okay.
So,
But before 2011, it was $3.
yes, before that was $3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
It adds up.
so for FCC is per attachment. It's not per pole. But
Yeah.
GPA had a per pole, so we're gonna change it to per attachment.
What's the difference?
In FCC, what they did is you have this. If you look at the following moments. So this is the FCC. What they're saying is that have a laser pointer?
The pointer.
Sorry. No. Where's the that one?
Okay.
So FCC is saying is this is the spot that is safe to attach. So
Okay.
and they do it by how many feet is available. So that's the spot that we're renting out. So when we do the the costing is only for that spot over there. and that's per foot.
And what's the other spot above it?
Yes. So the other spots over here, they have a safety zone so that no one could be in that space. And above this part
Is your
is,
distribution line?
yeah, it's a distribution line.
Okay.
So the difference between the telecom and the
Cable.
cable is that in the cable formula, they only include this spot right over here.
Yeah.
But in telecom, they include the whole length of cables here.
So in other words, they can put it below that
No, but for costing purposes,
for costing purposes.
yes,
Okay.
they include the cost of this other way.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's why they had a difference. That's why the telecom and the cable is different. If you go back one more. Yeah, that's why there's a difference between telecom formula and the cable formula. It's due to that additional space pole cost. So what they do in the leasing and FCC is per foot. So per attachment, you occupy 1 foot. But if there's another telecom operator comes in, then you go 1 foot up and 1 foot. So you charge for that. Right. So you could have
Okay.
2 attachments per pole or 3 attachments.
Okay.
So that's
Well,
what we're
either way, you're getting an increase,
Yes, we're asking for an
no
increase.
matter what.
Yes.
Why are you phasing it in over 3 years?
Currently,
Why don't you just go straight to the?
We can do that one shot, but we want to ease the increase.
You want to be nice,
Yes, we want to be nice.
okay, and get their support.
Yes, get
For
the
the-
support
for
from.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No.
Now, the move from these telecom companies to go to broadband, are you expecting then our revenue to decrease?
Our revenue will
Because, I mean, they're not, I mean, I'm looking at $27 for the monthly charge to the various companies on this.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Where's the projected increase in?
Yeah. So
Okay,
projected.
on that?
Yes. So our projected increase is about $78,000 per annum for the first year. So if you after 3 years, the increase for us would be about $35,000 per annum, additional increase in revenue.
Then when you go back on page, what exactly is the admin charge that you guys
Oh yes.
why do you have a 10% admin?
10%. Admin fee is yes.
What do you do for 10%?
Oh, so when the calculation, what they do is what they have is we charge for the net book value of the poles, right? So when you do that, divide by number of poles we had, is about $233. From there, we add divided by number of foot there. Then what we do is we have to pay for 10% of the admin fees.
We have to pay? We pay or we charge?
We charge.
Okay.
We charge the rate. So the 10% is for the total administration expense is about 43 divided by our plant assets, and that's what we get 10%. Yes.
Poles are up, not moving.
Oh, yeah, just as general expenses of the run the operations. Yeah, it's a standard.
So you know what?
Yes.
Try and think up a better answer for Tuesday,
I'm just
okay?
10%.
When you have a charge.
Yeah, John, isn't that basically the formula of how the,
This is the formula from the FCC. Yeah, yes.
That's the consultant telling us. I mean, I'm just curious as
FCC.
10% is how much? 40-some million?
Oh, no. Yeah. We take what this formula does is the operational cost of GPA is $43 million.
I understand that, John, but I'm just asking, in a power pole that's sitting out there.
Yes.
What are you doing? You're not going out there to paint them. You're not going out there to. Like, why could it be 5%? Why 10%?
This is a formula that.
John.
Okay.
I'm not arguing about a formula. I get the formula part. I can see the math on that. I'm just wondering how can you tell a ratepayer that you're not buying new concrete poles? We're not. Just if we went and reduced it and say no, your admin rate could be. There's no GRT built into this, so it's. In my
John.
world, it's pure profit.
Okay, John,
For what?
another way of asking the question is, what is the cost, what is the revenue stream to GPA? How much are you going to?
For this particular service line. How much money are we generating for this service line?
For this
Power poles.
attachments?
Yeah,
Right now.
right now.
It's about 150. It's about $156,000 a year.
A year.
A year,
Total.
so it's going to go to,
3%.
Yes. So it's gonna be 156 plus $78,000.
For the first year.
Yeah, 230. Yeah.
so,
Phenomenal in
so,
terms of
It's a
the-
very small amount.
Yeah.
so, but the question is, so why do you have a number of 43,661?
We're taking the value.
What is
from
that?
the portion.
See, that's the question, that's what our stumbling block is. The numbers don't seem to,
Which one? This one?
yes.
Our admin expense for this particular formula is
What does
43
the-
mil.
yeah.
That's our current operation cost?
Its current operation time at 2020 are based on the audit, the administration expense
For all of GPA is 43 mil.
yeah, $43 million for the for administration. So what they did is take the audited numbers of administration divided by the whatever net book value of our assets,
To determine,
what the administration cost is.
no, the administration costs are to determine the cost per pole, or the charge, the cable charge or the
Yes,
telecom
to
charge.
allocate so what it is how much of, so what they're doing is using the plant asset to determine the administration cost per poles.
What's involved in pole maintenance expense for 1.6 million?
That includes tree trimming, all of the different. What are the components of the attachment cost?
Pole maintenance. So
Very first line.
So you're telling us that based on this, our gross value for all our poles towers is about $70 million, correct?
Yeah, that's the gross pole. Those are the fixed asset costs.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
fixed
got it.
asset cost. So what that maintenance rate is only about 2%.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Never mind. Go ahead. No, I'm just curious as to why they pegged a 10% rate for admin. It's okay. Okay. Next.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair, Vice Chair. Fiscal year 2023-11 resolution number. The last item is a multi-step bid for property insurance. The current property insurance expires November of 2023, and so therefore we're requesting to go out for bid, and also subject to the PUC approval. I believe the bid invitation will try and get us the bids by June of this year, so we have some time to make a decision moving forward. The last extension was made on this one last year, so this is it's a 5-year, similarly a 5-year, 3-year base, 2 1-year option.
So this is the last option, or we're going out for a
No,
brand
we're
new
going out
5-hour?
for the next fiscal year. Yeah, we're in our last option year already.
We're already in our last option.
Yeah, you
So we're going to
approved
go
that
for a
last
new
year.
5-year with 2
Yeah.
options,
So
maybe.
now this is for the next 5
Okay.
years.
Okay,
From
got it, got it.
fiscal year 2024 through 5 years.
Okay,
Okay?
okay.
This is straightforward.
dare I ask, you want to do your management report?
Very quickly, Mr.
Okay,
Chair.
quickly?
Yeah. Again, Cabros number 2 has been under overhaul since December 27, to be done by February 15. Of course, we had to do, that's the one you approved for almost $4 to $5 million. We have to do it to make sure it gets through the next 2 years, because everything is critical and challenging in terms of capacity, no? Okay, big demand. I put the curve. January of this year is close. It's a little higher than the last 2 years. Next. Net metering, again, consistently about 10 customers a month. Next. Fuel oil prices have been coming down. This is where we were paying before, but this is where we are now because of the cleaner fuel. And again, diesel is about $120 a barrel, where it was around $90 in the days before it started going up. So again, it's come down, but of course, we don't expect our prices to go down to where we were before. Here are the prices I'm giving you now, the actual prices. The red and blue here are diesel, but the red is the PD diesel, which is about $4 a barrel less in premium compared to the others, because it's coming in bulk, no? And then here in the green, that's what we're paying for PD. So if you recall the numbers I gave you earlier, the 18 cents is already on this diesel for MEC 8 and 9, and the 31 cents is Cabros 1 and 2 because of the higher cost and less efficiency. No? Next. Nothing much on the PUC. The renewable bids are out. We should start seeing the bids in April. They've already asked for an extension, which we have given 2 months into April. No? Okay. So we're trying to get this done by June of this year. Next. There's the schedule. Next. Legislative, Senator Parkinson is our chairperson for GPA. I'd like to note we do have a meeting with him tomorrow to brief him on GPA.
I thought it was canceled. I thought the meeting is still on for tomorrow?
Yeah. Tomorrow at 8:30 at the DNA. We'll give you the location. No, we had so many duplications. That's what they were canceling. So it's still going tomorrow. Again, we want to discuss it with him also, the issue about the protests and the preference. In addition to that, if necessary, we look at the 15 years process. So again, it's an introductory briefing tomorrow morning. Next. We are getting money. The $100 credit are going now. These are the programs that we are helping the community with. No, and of course the funding coming from the administration for the $100 credit. Next. Our AGMO will be retiring after 31 years of service. And
Congratulations.
Actually, I would like to thank her very much.
You don't want a 5-year extension with a 3-year extension with 2 plus 2?
Okay.
So she started as an engineering manager, then eventually agno, and again, so her last day of working in place is by the end February 1st, but her final retirement is around May 5th. No?
Okay.
Taking her leave during this period.
You're using up your accumulated leave.
Yeah.
No problem. Well deserved.
Okay.
Well deserved.
And then we have all this, again, we continue the apprenticeship programs. We do have some that are going to graduate soon from the T&D. The 5th cycle are getting real close to graduating. No? Next. DSM, I'll just go through it, but we are getting about 400 applicants a month. So, and the average rebate is about 200 some going to our customers to change their air conditioners to more efficient. So again, that's helping them, no? Next. Let's go to the power plan. I'll just show you the pictures. A lot of the information there. I mean, it's very detailed. There, more construction, electrical buildings next. There's the docks that were going up on Marine Drive the other day. They are, these are the extensions next for the stacks. Foundation work. continues. Next, storage tanks. You
This
see
is a
it's the
fuel
ma-
storage tank, right?
This is, I think, believe the treated water,
Oh,
and then
water?
they're doing
Okay.
the foundation for the
Treated
for the-
water.
yeah.
Okay.
Then the next, so this is the water going to come from
Northern.
the northern wastewater treatment
Right.
plant, and
Yeah.
that's further treated and then used for evaporation. The foundations for the turbines are on their way. Next, there's the bottom plates now for the steel for the storage tanks for the steel. Then they're gonna start putting the plates next. Again, water treatment building next. Fuel treatment. A lot of work moving next. Cooling towers next. The switch yard starting. Here's your back. This is your turbines and your steam turbine, like your transformers, and the steam turbine is not here, but these are major parts of equipment that are going to be coming in February. The three combustion turbine, the transformers, and all, they'll be arriving in February. No? So again, most of the big pieces of equipment will be arriving next month. The steam turbine itself will be coming in March, and that will be the last major component. Next. So here's your schedule, if you will. We're waiting. Maybe the movement will be made this weekend. We're not sure yet. We'll see what the DPW and Busan ends up with in terms of the move. But again, we still have the 12 pieces down at the port. Next.
Okay.
Next. Just to give you the pipeline work, it continues. Next. The levelized adjustment clause. Go ahead, next. Again, some prices have gone down, but our recommendation was to hold the pricing. It is there. That will be decided by the PUC this month. If they held the pricing, what would it look like? Next, 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 next. Right now, we're at by the end of July, like the end of January, under recovery will be about 33 million. No,
Okay.
went as high as 41 to 47 million in the peak. With the rate being held at 31, the under recovery will be about 900,000 by July 31st. No? Right now
That's
it's
your
too
number?
early to. Right now we're still having some difficulties in cash flow. They're still moving things around. So hopefully over the next few months here, then we'll have enough cash for.
So this is the data you're going to be giving to the PUC. This is the update?
Yes, this is the update.
Okay. Okay.
Next.
Okay. Well, we may have more questions on Tuesday. The PUC meeting isn't until Thursday, right? Next week? Okay. So we might have some questions.
Next.
Okay?
The rest are just generation information.
Okay, if we have any
So
questions, we'll
That's
ask you.
all I have on the GM report.
Sure.
Key components, Mr. Chair, and
Okay, John,
any
you have
questions you may
highlights
have.
for?
Yes, we have financial highlights.
Okay. Brief.
Yes, we'll make it.
Okay.
So for we were looking at the average average consumption of your residential customers. The top is the average for the past 4 years plus the fiscal year 2023, and below the chart is the weather chart, shows the temperature of Guam, and plus the precipitation. So the consumption of the residential customer usually influenced by the weather, by the the sunlight, the length of the day. So during summer, the length of the day is longer. During winter, length of the day is shorter, and also temperature. So if there's correlation between as the temperature is hotter, the consumption is hotter. If the temperature goes down, the consumption also decreases. The other factor is the rate. As the price of
As the total bill goes up,
Yeah, as total bill goes up,
people
the
conserve.
people try ways to conserve.
Yeah.
As the rate goes down, people have more flexibility to use it more. So if you
Yes.
notice, and if there's a yellow one there that's kind of higher than everybody, that's the time when the our LEAC rate was at the lowest, around 8 to 11 cents, and so people have more freedom to use. As price of LEAC went up, the consumption has gone down. Other thing is, if you look at the weather, Guam weather has been changing. Guam has been getting cooler for the past 3 years. So
Weather.
yeah, the weather has been impacting. But most of the time for GPA, weather is probably the biggest significant factor of consumption. Next slide. So this is at the top is average by numbers, and below is the LEAC rate. That's a reference. On the following slide. So we had the December number, so we put the December number there. We budgeted 13. Actual was $12.9 million for December, so it's favorable than budget. If you look at kilowatt sales, we were anticipating 129 megawatts. We have about 129, so it's close to budget what we anticipated. Look in the following slide on fuel revenues. We did ask for fuel adjustments, so in November, so we adjusted the fuel budget revenues. So we budgeted about 40.9, actually it's about 40.2. In terms of operational cost in November, now this is we don't have December numbers yet, so we just used November. We budgeted 6.9. Our actual was 6.1. There are a couple of things that happened in FY 2023. The COLA has gone up about $100 per, I believe, and also the insurance cost has also.
On the COLA cost, though, you can adjust your charge on the. No.
So on the power bill, there is no adjustment for that. You're thinking of the water bill, they have adjusted.
Really?
They have supplemental charges on the face of the water bill. Power's never done that,
So,
for whatever reason.
So whatever you included in your costs, that stays the same. Whatever you've put in for COLA.
No, we pay the extra.
Yeah,
No,
we-
you pay the extra amount, but what I mean is there should be a charge to the ratepayer to pay the COLA.
There is no charge. on
There's
our
no
bill.
charge at all?
Yeah, we observe those.
It's in
You
the
absorb
main
the full
rate.
COLA?
It's in the
Yes.
base rate.
Okay. The other thing that went up was property insurance for this fiscal year.
Yeah.
That's kind of globally.
But that's everybody, yeah.
Yeah.
If you can get insurance.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Even cyber is very
Difficult.
uneconomic.
Yeah, okay, so,
On the number of customers, the fourth quarter, the first quarter of 2023, number of residential customer has gone up. Everybody has gone up. We also looked at the number of arrivals. It's been getting better than previously, but it's not that high. So our senior debt services coverage is 1.68. And as of right now, our under recovery is, as of December number is about $35 million. Overall, the fuel price is going down, but
I'm seeing more that later on this year is gonna
okay.
go up again.
so that's why you see a decrease because the fuel price has been going down.
Okay.
And the new rate in November. You see, we didn't start recovering until the rate went into November.
Yeah.
Yes,
in-
yes.
Before
in
that, we
November.
were not recovering at all.
Okay, that's it.
That's
it,
it,
yes, that's
Mr.
it.
Chair.
We'll probably have more questions on Tuesday,
All right.
okay? Okay, yes. Okay, so who, can you put on who Okay, hold on a second. What are we using, GoToMeeting or Zoom? We're using GoToMeeting. Okay.
Doesn't have a feature to type in the question in the chat?
We need to work on
Is
this.
there any reason why, Tracy, we don't go to Zoom?
Okay, it's just a
Maybe
question.
the chat feature is a lot easier on that.
Yeah, on Zoom, you could do a private or a group chat, so.
Yeah. Can we recommend that we at least?
Okay, wait. Okay.
I'm sure all of us have a Zoom account. There is a corporate Zoom account here, right?
Uh, Okay.
Does that have a chat feature? How come we don't see it?
Okay. Somebody, go ahead. Go ahead. Yes. Yeah, we can. Yes.
Chairman and Francis asked. I sent an exchange to Michael and I were on for us, and there's something to go to where you can raise your hand, the chairman.
Yeah.
Be notified to see it, so that IT has to say, chairman is IT. Chair can see when speak. Because now trying to speak. That's going to hear us, so it's all like for us to wait till Tuesday. Yeah, let's try to fix the IT side.
Okay.
I have one question regarding the extension of the, from the 5 to 15 years powerful. John, who initiates the reimbursement? Is that the TPA person, or does the person that actually paid for that poll initially, do they have to monitor it and reimburse?
In the 5-year period. How does that occur?
Yeah, I'm sure you're asking you, but there's a lot of that feedback, but
Okay.
Can you respond to us in writing?
I tell you what. Commissioner Mchalko, I will have them send an email to all of us before Tuesday meeting to respond to that issue. Okay? Okay, is there any other thing from the Commissioner Mchalko or Commissioner Sanchez? Sure. Yeah. Right. Yeah. We will send you a notice on that, Commissioner Sanchez. Okay. Okay. Is there any other business? Motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
We're adjourned.
Graham, any recommendations on how